After recovering data that would be crucial to the Republic war effort pertaining to secret hyperspace lanes that link the heart of the Republic with the heart of Separatist territory, Jedi Master Piell's ship was boarded and he was taken prisoner by Separatist forces. Knowing the value of this intelligence, the Republic and the Jedi Council quickly mounted a rescue effort in an effort to rescue the captured Jedi. The captured Jedi, as well as his command crew, had been taken to a prison known as the Citadel on the world Lola Sayu. The initial rescue plan involved a stealthy infiltration by a disguised Republic ship, posing as a Separatist vessel, which would infiltrate the facility and rescue the prisoners. However, as that rescue operation fell apart time and time again, it ended up leaving the rescue party and the captured prisoners stranded on the planet. As a result, a large Republic force had to be mustered in an effort to rescue them. However, the importance of this intelligence was not lost on the Separatists, who also understood the value of this information, which could lead to surprise attacks far behind enemy lines. In the coming battles, the goal of the Republic forces were simple: not capture the planet, but to simply rescue the rescue team that had been sent there in advance and recover the information that had been carried by Jedi Master Piell. The Separatists, on the other hand, were desperately attempting to prevent the Republic forces from gaining access to the prisoners or the information that they carried. This meant that the Separatists' primary goal was to prevent Republic forces from accessing the surface of the planet to mount a rescue mission to rescue these stranded Republic forces. That meant that the main defensive effort for this battle came down to the Separatist fleet in orbit, which consisted of a single Lucrehulk-class battleship serving as a flagship, and it was supported by a single Providence-class dreadnought and 4 Munificent-class frigates. On the other hand, the Republic fleet consisted of 4 Venator-class Star Destroyers and their accompanying fighter wings. Unlike a lot of other battles in the Clone Wars, both sides were aware of this engagement before the engagement even began, with Separatist forces in orbit being put on alert, figuring that a Republic attack was imminent in an effort to rescue the stranded Jedi. As a result, it wasn't a surprise to the Separatists when 4 Venator-class Star Destroyers jumped out of hyperspace in front of the Separatist fleet. Almost immediately, they began deploying wings of Republic strike fighters, most notably ARC-170s, however there were likely some V-19 Torrents in those formations as well. The objective of this first flight of fighters was to distract Separatist droid forces in orbit to allow an infiltration team to slip by the blockade. Seeing the Republic fleet launching their fighters, the Separatist fleet countered with the same, deploying a large number of Vulture droids, droid tri-fighters, and Hyena bombers. This quickly broke down into a large skirmish occurring between the two fleets, with the fighters ending up in a large furball. However, the Separatist fighters significantly outnumbered the Republic fighters, making it difficult for Republic forces to gain the upper hand. In fact, in the intensity of this initial fighter engagement, several Hyena bombers were able to slip through and carry out very successful bombing runs against the Republic fleet, significantly damaging at least one of the Venator-class Star Destroyers. Still, upon orders from Plo Koon, knowing that the time for their rendezvous window was closing, a flight of Republic fighters broke off from the engagement and escorted a single LAAT-I gunship past the Separatist blockade. In spite of heavy fire from the Separatist capital ships, these ships were able to penetrate the blockade and make it through to the surface. Meanwhile, in orbit, the fighting continued, with both sides attempting to secure space superiority and allow them to carry out bombing runs against the opposing fleet. Still, both fleets maintained distance from one another, and neither ships really moved close enough for close quarters engagements, only taking occasional pot shots at one another with longer range turbo laser fire. Meanwhile, back down on the surface, the LAAT gunship was able to swoop down at the rendezvous point and rescue the Jedi recovery team that had been left stranded. Realizing that Republic troops had now been rescued from the surface and were on their way up to rendezvous with the Republic fleet, the Separatist fighter force quickly pivoted in an effort to prevent this small strike force from rendezvousing with the larger Republic fleet. This left the remaining droid starfighters in a rather precarious position, with Republic forces coming up from the planet behind them, and the main body of Republic starfighters in front of them, forcing them to fight a two-pronged assault, and if their primary target was preventing the escape of these Republic forces from the surface of the planet, they would end up having to turn their backs on the largest Republic force. This resulted in a large number of droid starfighter casualties, with a lot of Vulture droids and droid tri-fighters falling victim to rear fire from the Republic fighter force. But as the LAAT gunship containing the survivors of the Republic raiding party made its way to orbit, the order was given for the Venators to start turning and preparing to evacuate. This caused the Venators to briefly expose their vulnerable undersides to the Separatist fleet, which didn't miss the opportunity and opened fire with turbo lasers, and well, none of these volleys were enough to destroy any of the large Venator-class Star Destroyers. They did do significant damage to the capital ships as they prepared to evacuate. With all of the fighter forces on board and the LAAT gunship gunship containing the Republic strike party, now safely secured within the hangar of one of the Venators, Republic forces withdrew from the system, ending the Battle of Lola Sayu in a Republic victory. Ultimately, this battle actually did have a fairly significant impact on the war. The intelligence that had been recovered by Master Piell had managed to make its way back to the Republic, and that information would eventually allow the Republic to plan deep strikes into the Separatist territory, which would become necessary during the final days of the war during the Outer Rim sieges. This whole thing occurred right around the midpoint of the war, and if you'd like to learn about a desperate Separatist attempt to undermine the Republic during this time period, I'll leave a link in the upper right-hand corner to my battle analysis on the Battle of Camino, which is a Separatist attempt to cut off the Republic's supply of new clone troopers. And if you have any other battles you'd like to see covered in future episodes of Battle Analysis and added to the archive, you can let me know down below in the comments. Last but not least, if you enjoyed this video, head down below, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon so you get notified when I upload new videos. So for Sci-Fi Deep Dive, I'm Colin, and I will see you next time.